and
It says it's setting it up, which means it isn't live. Or am I live on Facebook? Possibly.
Yes, it's live. It's live, Fiona.
It is live. Why don't you sell without marketing?
Fiona's
So
frozen now.
that is how we're doing it. If somebody could turn their volume down, that would be wonderful. So selling without marketing. I'm going to talk to the crew first. Let's go for Kev. Haven't been to you first for ages.
Hi, Fiona. Looks like you've frozen, Fiona. There you go. No, you're still there. But anyway. So I've got lots of thoughts on today, but one of the thoughts I have is, can you actually sell without marketing? I'd be really interested to see if people have actually done that, whether that's for a new startup or someone that's actually further down the line and got a business already up and running. Yeah, that's my thoughts from today.
Yeah. Yep. Nice one. Terry?
I'm looking forward to getting some ideas here. I like to see what everyone else is doing and then nick the best ideas for myself. That's my plan.
I thought that's what we all do.
Well,
But,
yeah. Me more than most.
Yeah. Thank you, Terry.
What do you mean, yeah?
Neil?
Yeah, good evening, everybody. I'm looking to see what response Kev gets from that question, because that sounds like a really good question. And I'm also looking to see what other people think about selling without marketing.
Nice one. Thanks, Neil. Sammy?
Yeah, I've got lots of little ideas of my own, but I'm going to just sit back and see what everybody else has got to say first, and then just put my hand up as and when. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what other people think, to confirm my thoughts and hopefully add some to that.
Yeah, no, that's really wonderful. My thoughts, not that anyone ever asks me what mine are. 31 of
What
these.
are your thoughts?
31 of these I've done, and no one's ever asked.
Fiona, what do you think?
Who are you?
I will stop into selling.
Fiona, tell us what you think.
If you think about what selling is, it's give or hand over something in exchange for money. It's also to persuade someone of the merits of. It's an act of selling or attempting, and it's by appointment, typically one arising from being deceived as to the merits of something. Anyway, that's the nouns of it. That's the selling, but the merits of is important for me, and that's what I liked. Also, the definition of marketing. This is just a couple of definitions. The action or business of promoting and selling products or services, including market research and advertising. And this is what we tend to think of, isn't it? When we're thinking about marketing. So I'm thinking of the bigger picture of marketing and the bigger picture of selling. Marketing is advertise or promote something, offer for sale, go shopping for provisions. That's the American version, I believe. But that's it. That's those kind of definitions, and that's what we're looking at. We've got a couple of attendees. So if someone could bring one of them in, because I think she would like to come in, if that's okay. Excellent. I'm going to ask, because I happen to know that Ian might have something to say, although he's chatting. Ian might also have something he wanted to say. Are you going to go for it, Ian?
well, not say, maybe share.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, don't need to say it. Just going to share what I did. So in a previous employment, I quickly learned that I wasted too much time and money on marketing when I was better off improving my trade, so I didn't need to. I'll let that sink in for a little while.
Because it was a previous career, was it? Your pipes and tubes and gas and stuff.
Yes, but I'm also looking at the bigger picture. So on my car, on my van, I didn't spend no money on fancy writing. Yeah. I spent my money on good tools instead of the fancy stuff, because the tools is what I needed, not the fancy stuff. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Makes perfect sense to me.
Lovely. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm here for at the moment, just to share some tips along the way.
I
That
love
was kind of
that. But I do like that.
But also, just quickly, when you do that, for me, when I did a job and it was an amazing job, you get because you know when you're walking away, you're not going to have a problem, you know.
yeah.
But that's something I'm going that way. I want to keep that way.
Well,
that-
I think it would, but that's exactly it, isn't it? It was
Is that
selling,
okay for now,
yeah.
though?
selling without marketing, so you weren't spending it. Yeah.
And I never had my name on the van. Okay, in this, yeah. So
No, brilliant. Yeah, I got you, Sammy. Sorry, I should have stuck my thumb up. I've got to make it visible. Thank you, Ian. Totally agree. And that is exactly that. Previous career, transferable skills, Ian. That's what we're talking now. Thank you, Sammy.
Yeah, kind of tacking on to what Ian's saying is that people will buy into you, won't they? You know, they'll buy into you, what you present yourself as well, because you are your front office, your personality, you know, and by giving this image that you are wearing the correct colour for your driving academy, being purple, you know, it's nice and smart. You turn up, show up, smile no matter what's happening behind the smile. You know, you put on that professional kind of mask, and you know, people will buy into you because you are giving out vibes that you are confident in what you're doing. And there's lots of other ways as well, really, that they'll buy into you.
do you know, just one little quick simple thing that really helped sell my business, or what I did, was blue overshoes on my boots. So when I went in a house, I had coverings on my feet. I was one of the first ones ever to start doing it.
Yes, so you're giving excellent customer service.
I don't need a
And
name
that's
on the
really-
van. I need my name to be spoke about, you know.
And people will remember you as that guy that came in and looked after the carpet because you put the shoes on.
That's the one.
And it's just, that's the perfect, another perfect example of selling without having to market. It's selling yourself. Yeah, I like what you said, Sammy. Totally agree with that. I think we do, especially our business. I think some people believe it's a driving school, and I've always believed that it's each individual within a school that makes a difference, because it's that person. And I don't know, but I think it is. But you are, as you said, I wondered what you were going to say. You are your front office. I have another phrase there. I wasn't sure. Neil, distract me from my tiredness, please.
I think, building on from what Sammy says, it's about selling yourself. So talking about your story, selling your enthusiasm and your emotions into what you're going to do and how you're going to do it, and that sells people. Then it's that first impression, what they like about you, is you're selling yourself.
I totally agree. Yeah, totally agree. Sammy, back at you.
Yeah, and just it keeps flowing, doesn't it? Because that's exactly it's that passion and then the enthusiasm, and that what that does, it creates an energy that people want to feed off that energy. They want to be part of you because they they like the way you are, the way you present yourself. Passion and enthusiasm.
Absolutely. Passion and enthusiasm. I'm reminded, Ian, when you were talking about putting the overshoes on. Somebody was telling me about a hairdresser that they went to, the hairdresser salon.
Was it me?
No, it wasn't.
Ah,
It wasn't. It was a lady. It was a lady.
was it
and
Neil then?
she was saying, well, I love going there because you get a massage. And I thought, you should first of all start telling me about the haircut, whether you did or didn't like it. But it was when you're getting your hair washed, you get the massage. No, a massage chair. It was a massage chair. Sorry. It was a massage kind of chair. You've got something to say, Mr. Terry, or you're not?
I've got some Facebook messages to change the subject quickly, Fiona.
Okie dokie. And then, well, can I do Ian first? Because I think Ian was...
Will you stop with the innuendos tonight?
I will do. Go
Thank
on,
you.
Ian.
Quickly, your hairdressing thing. So when that lady said she got all that massage, what else did she get though? What was the primary reason she went there?
I think it was the hair.
So, and it was a good job as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So she got a bonus. She got a good job and a massage, all for the same price. 2 for 1. There you go.
Innuendo City. Here we go. It wasn't just me. It wasn't just me.
That was a massage mime. Massage.
It wasn't. Anyway.
You know, if Sid James was alive right now, his head would be exploding.
Terry, distract us all with a bit of serious, because we know that's what you're best at.
Oh dear. Right. We have some comments.
Go to Facebook. Yeah.
What?
Facebook points, yes.
Yeah, Facebook points, mainly from Graham actually. Graham says, marketing, exclamation mark. Content is king and you are providing content. Customer service is marketing. Doing CPD improves your service and that helps market yourself. People buy people and that is marketing. Actually, I think you'll find that's trafficking, Graham. No, you've got to stop doing that, mate. You're going to get caught. People do not buy people. It's not right. Stop it.
It's slavery, actually.
Yes. He finishes off with, we won a course today and Fiona finished with a bang. Was that a bang from the exhaust as you ran from the police, Graham? With the people in the back of the lorry. Anyway.
I didn't. I am going to avoid any jokes about the bang. I'm going to move on with the jokes about the bang. But that's the last bang I ever give anyone. And sorry, guys, if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's a certain course delivery that used to begin and end with a bang.
It's now going to be a boom.
So going back to Graham's points, he was agreeing, wasn't it, that you sell yourself. So every time you sell, you don't just do it. Sammy brought it up to start with. Ian brought it up. It's all about the selling of the person. You are the most important part of parcel, really. I forgot what else he said now, because especially as you keep giggling, Terry. Sammy, tell me what Graham said. Make a point out of it. Distract someone.
Yeah. It says people buy people, and we were talking about that, weren't we? And people don't want the hard sell. They don't want you to say, come and buy my driving lessons, come and buy my instructor training. They want to see what other people think about you. So reviews are king as well. Get some really good reviews on your website, so people can have a look on your website and your reviews, or on your Facebook page. And because people would rather read that, and Neil mentioned stories as well. Get people to leave stories. because it doesn't, you don't have to just leave a review, do you? When you've finished, you've passed your test, so I'll leave a review now. You could say, well, that was a brilliant lesson. Look how much you've learned in that lesson. How about leaving a review about it? Tell other people what you've achieved today. And then you get more and more reviews.
I think you've done loads in there, Sammy. I hope Kev was writing it all down.
Yeah. No, Kev's asleep. I've got some other points, but I'll wait.
Usually Kev's writing things down for that. But you were saying about get reviews, because it's those that are the selling point, aren't they? That's nothing. Just write a comment on my Facebook page, or, you know, it doesn't need to be. But how many of you guys will go on to Amabay or Ebazon, one of those, and how many of you will buy a product if you don't read anything?
I always read the reviews, especially if it's something that looks, if it looks a bit dodgy, like it's an American hairdryer or something. I want to see if it works.
Yeah. How long will it last? What are the benefits of it? And then the comparisons and things. And if you're looking for specific things, and somebody says, really good, really helped me with, for example, my confidence, I really felt supported, and it's got those personal interactions. You know, you're just selling things. You've said a few other things in your little spiel then, Sammy. Do you remember what they were? Kev, what did you say?
Not just leaving those reviews to the end when they've finished with you, when they've finished learning to drive with you, but to get as many as you can throughout. When something brilliant's happened, get them to say, can you share your story on the Facebook page, or put that as an extra review, because they can leave as many reviews as they like, surely. You know, so if you can get those stories in there, because Neil mentioned stories earlier, and people love a story, because they can then relate to that story and imagine themselves in that position, and then they'll want to come and be that person. So that's how another way that they'll buy into you.
It's a shame, because there's loads of people who love vlogging, video logging, and I don't know why. Why don't we get any of those as a kind of thing on our Facebook?
Can I just quickly bring quickly here, because I think I've got a little bit of right. So what I'm trying to say is, with gas and plumbing and heating, so there's a lot of engineers out there as well. So it's a really dog-eat-dog world in that industry. It isn't like this industry, right? So in that industry, to get the top money, you had to be really good at what you did without marketing. You didn't get that by just a word of mouth. So moving on from what Sammy's saying is, what we're all saying is, if we're good at what we do, and you don't need to sell what you do, you probably don't even need to have a review at the end of the day, because word will travel. Yeah. Do you know?
Yeah.
So less time can even be spent on Facebook as well, in my opinion, now, because I want it to go that way. You don't have Facebook pages for plumbers. You do, but it's not like this industry. This industry, a lot of learning is done here. It's not in that industry. It's on job and in like main dealers and stuff, you know, factories, and it's a very different stuff. But no, the principles are the same. So the more confident I'm getting at what I'm doing, and the better, more diaries filling up, I've started charging more, and people are paying it, because they know the end product is what's good, is the pass and the driving as well. So
yeah, no, I totally agree.
I think they all just move with one another.
Yeah.
And without you guys, I wouldn't be getting to where I am now in this industry. And this is what I had to do in the plumbing industry. See, so I had to go to the top guys there and work with them.
Yeah,
so,
I think you're working on yourself a lot within this current industry as well, Ian.
you are on your own a lot.
Totally agree with what you were saying. Sammy's itching and chomping at the bit to speak in a second, but there was something I was going to say. Oh, yeah.
Fiona, what do you think?
How many of you guys have not had people come to you from somewhere else? Word of mouth. Word of mouth. How many of you have had new pupils galore from word of mouth. Hands up. Oh, I haven't got a hand. Good. How many of you have taught your pupils, ex-pupils, children?
I'm not old enough for that.
No, I was going to say, and Terry has even taught his ex-pupils children's children. So he's done the grandchildren. I bet
When I was a tennis coach, I did grandparents, parents, kids, but not in driving, Fiona.
Yet. I'll bet it will happen. I've done kids.
Fiona, what do you think about it?
Tammy, you were going to say something.
I was, and I'm latching onto that word confidence there that Ian mentioned before. And I've just glanced down to look at the Facebook feed as well from what Graham said, that he agrees that recommendations drive business towards you, but reviews increase confidence in your services. So again, that word confidence comes up. But how can we be more confident in our ability to deliver that? So we can do the CPD, that gives us that confidence. And when you exude confidence as well, you'll attract more people. I think I put that as a Facebook post earlier, that confidence helps to attract people to you. So keep up with the CPD. I won't give any plugs for any particular CPD supplier or anything like that, because that would be wrong. But, you know, just that confidence is working on yourself as well, you know, working on living a very positive lifestyle. It helps you to feel confident from the inside out.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like a beacon to other people.
Other providers are available. Would like to mention that. Phil, are you there? You haven't said
I
it.
am. I'm enjoying what people are saying and agreeing with it as well. Particularly picking up on what Sammy said then. When you have first meeting with somebody in particular to try and get them onto a particular training course, if you can speak about it with enthusiasm as much as anything, that really, really does get the person's juices. I was going to say juices flowing up, but be careful what I say, isn't I? It really does get their enthusiasm going as well. So yeah, I think confidence, enthusiasm, all helps. Yeah, I'll shut up again, Fiona, for a few minutes.
Thank you, Phil. Keith, any thoughts? Remember to speak up, Keith, because you're sometimes quite quiet.
Yeah, I just listen to the others and agreeing with what they're saying. It is down to, I think, first impressions, what we've all been talking about, really. Yeah, first impressions. You need to not so much sell your business, but you need to be confident in what you're doing, and you need to be liked by the people you're coaching.
Yeah, I'm right in thinking, Keith, that you were in this career, then you got out of it for a while, and then you came back. Correct?
Yeah.
How many years did you still get people coming back to you, asking if they could have lessons? Did they keep contacting you or not?
Yeah.
Well, that was before mobile phones, wasn't it? So
yeah. It was. It was before mobile phones as well. I think they'd just come in. So I was getting people asked for lessons, and I'd already gone out the trade into the ambulance service. And I say I've only just been back in it now a year, and I'm learning so much more than I did 21 years ago. The great thing about it is I did keep my license going. So I did the standards checks every 4 or 5 years to a good mark. So I was quite pleased with that. So I must have learned something in those times and kept it going. And now I'm learning so much more.
yeah, wonderful. Yes, yeah. Phil, you had a.
No, don't let him speak anymore.
Yeah, I was just going to say that I think CPD is really important because it keeps you up to date, keeps you relevant, and that can also help with the enthusiasm. If you don't do CPD, you just get stuck in a rut, and then that's where your enthusiasm goes. I think you know, you just get what's the word I'm trying to think of?
Juices
Stale.
flowing?
I suppose you just get stale.
Oh,
But
yeah.
as I say, doing CPD and even repeating the same course, because I'm a bit of a serial course goer, I must say. Each course is evolving all the time, so you know, you're really keeping up with everything then. So it keeps enthusiasm going, flowing, however you like to put it.
So it's all of this. So we're still going back to the topic of selling without marketing. Is there anything else on Facebook, Sammy, Neil? You haven't spoken.
Yes.
Anything else
No,
on?
Graham, surprise, surprise. He has said, where is your market? What services are you delivering? And if you want to expand, so I say if you want to expand your driving school, how can you do that without marketing? And Sarah says, it's like a carry on, why don't you?
Yeah, can you stop with the advertising, guys? It will come across like we are one, you know, we have done a bit of it tonight. It's not that I'm not a fan of it, but we want to be for everybody. I think this is an independent thing. We do need to think about other service providers and other independents. And Terry, I'm reluctant. Is anyone else reluctant? I'm reluctant. Kev, go for it, Kev. Speak.
I will talk now. So I've listened quite a lot. I've written loads down already, but there seems quite a lot on there that costs money. What can you do that doesn't actually cost any money then in terms of marketing?
Good one.
I don't think any of those things for me cost money. Is working on yourself. Just yourself, your personality, your inside confidence, your self-reflection, all of that. That doesn't cost anything, does it? Being nice to people doesn't cost anything. Talking to people doesn't cost anything.
A library book and a library card doesn't cost anything. Plenty of resources at the library, videos and books and all sorts of things. Ian.
One thing I did that cost me nothing but made me quite a lot was I helped out a few people, i.e. for a charity.
Yeah.
So I gained a lot out of it as a giving and got a lot back in receiving. Giver and a taker. There you go.
I was thinking there in terms of what you can, in the same lines, there are many of us who have been involved with the Big Learner Relay. And that was a really good way of, and it was about other people, but it was such a community thing. I love the Big Learner Relay. They're doing it again this year without actually going. Big Learner Relay stays at home. So it's still going on. Still got the opportunity to join in. But does that sell? Does it sell without? And I think does it market without putting spots on your car for a while? What do people do?
It attracts attention, doesn't it? So people are going to notice you a lot more. And you could even get your name in the paper, local papers or on the radio. That costs absolutely nothing. Yeah. And of course, Facebook, which Steph has brought up on, Steph Gibson has put, she just put it on Facebook that she's now an independent driving instructor and now she's full again. So, you know, Facebook costs nothing either, does it?
That's true. Very true. Absolutely. Terry, did you have something serious to say?
I always got something serious to say, Fiona. Just go to Ian first, I've forgotten.
Ian?
Just one thing I have found with Facebook then, with this industry, it attracts a lot of people who don't want to pay the money.
Okay, so that's where your personality comes back into it again, Ian, isn't it? I just tack on to another comment while I'm talking, is that Graham mentioned earlier, and I didn't pick it up. Sorry, Graham. About vlogs and articles and, you know, vlogs or blogs. Getting plenty of articles out there, stories again, and articles that people are going to be interested in and read, you know, like the coaching articles that Graham writes. So yeah, they're all good things to
Yeah,
do.
I've been asked outside of our industry because of the articles I was writing. I was asked to do some work outside of the industry. Very excited by that. And it's leading on to something else. So yeah, he's exactly right. So just me writing my nonsense. Anyway. Terry, have you thought about it? Because that was an innuendo article I did.
Okay, good. So, I'm not quite sure how to say this, and I hope it doesn't offend anyone, but I guess if you're being offended, maybe it is. Anyway, perfect example of people buy from people they like is just because you're a busy driving instructor doesn't mean you're any good.
That's true.
So that just shows the power of people buy from people.
Absolutely. That's a really good point. Yeah.
What do you think, Fiona?
Interesting. Neil, you haven't spoken for ages.
No, I'm just listening to what people have got to say. The only thing I would say, and it builds on from what Sammy was saying about reviews, is winning awards, taking that one step further.
Tell us more, Neil.
Tell us more, Neil.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Just somebody that's done it, I think.
What was the title of the award you've just won, Neil?
Pardon?
What is the title of the award you've just won?
Best Small to Medium-Sized Business from the Business Awards 2020.
Fabulous.
So
no, well done, Neil. That's it. It's really.
So that gives customer confidence. That on its own gives customer confidence.
And us, Neil, and us all, yeah?
Yeah.
Because I look at that and I think that's where I want to be.
That's good.
So thanks, you know what I mean? Well done.
Apparently Graham sends people a Christmas card. Well, I didn't get one last year, Graham, so where was my Christmas card?
You're not a learner, Sammy.
Who got a Christmas card?
Who got a Christmas card off Graham?
He's now got 8 people that are not happy.
8 people that are not happy. And even then, he's going to send it second class, isn't he? Is that marketing then? Is that marketing? I'm not sure because yeah.
I think if Neil gets interviewed by a certain person, then that would be good marketing as well.
Yeah. Kev and then Keith, please.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, when I first started, was someone said to me, just make sure you finish the lesson with the student getting out with a smile on their face. And that just sends wonders to everyone, because you're just sort of like thinking, other people see that person with a smile on their face getting out after a lesson. You know, you've given your service, you know, you've done everything right, everything's good. And that person has just got out of the driving lesson with a big smile on the face. What impression does that give others of you?
Absolutely. Yeah, it does. It's a massive review and one to be seen by everyone else. Thank you, Kev. Good point. Keith?
I was just thinking back to when I was a lot younger. I was at my last year at school, and the driving instructor actually came into the school, and there was about 3 of us in the car. It didn't cost him anything, and because he was very good, and he sold himself, we say. People went to him straight away after when they become 17. We wouldn't quite.
Yeah, well, I just got a message. I just got a message and I read it, and it distracted me totally. I'm sorry, but no, you're quite right, Keith. Absolutely, and that's a really good way of doing it as well, isn't it? It's.
I think the only problem now is that we cannot. I don't know. We can't go into the schools and do it because it's all health and safety now. You can't go driving around their car parks, which is a shame because it's one way of obviously advertising in a way and showing how good you are.
Yeah, that's a really good point. We've got some more time, Kev.
I think this follows back to what what Keith was saying there about going around car parks and you see people, and what Ian was saying about he buys tools that are good and to do the job and give a good service. And again, something very, very simple that people do that's often neglected when people get busy is just keeping the car clean. It's quite a nice, simple. People see a car that's cleaned. What does it say about the person that's using it? So just something simple.
Yeah, I was franchised to a local school when I started, and I was quite proud because one of the bits of feedback that particular business provider was very good at asking what people liked. Why is it you've chosen us? And one of the bits of feedback we got regular emails say what was good and what we needed to work on as a bunch of franchisees. And he said one of the people we've had feedback that every time they see one of our cars, the instructor is always smiling. And it just struck me because I thought, I wonder who one of them was. I tend to spend most of my day grinning. But yeah, I think it's even just having that smile on your face, a nice clean car, that is selling without marketing, isn't it? It's selling yourself without even getting out of the car, being helpful to people. Just how you park in a car park. Sometimes you see a car and I've got local colleagues, and they say, I can't leave the car like that. I've got to move it because we will be seen. And you are. Yeah, I've got you, Phil. Sorry, I didn't put my thumb up. And then Ian. Yeah. You're looking so serious, Phil. Are you going to talk?
I think you might have frozen.
Right, yeah. Just thinking about what Kev said, actually. Presentation of not only the car, of yourself, really important. I know when I first started the job, I moved from Cornwall up to sort of Surrey. And apart from my wife's few friends, I didn't have any contacts, didn't know anybody. So the car was signed, written name on it and so on. And that was really my biggest, Ian was talking earlier on about tools, weren't they? Having good tools. So the car is our main tool. So that was all done up and people knew who I was from that. And that really was my sort of main way of letting people know that I was about in the first place. But as it's gone on, it's all word of mouth now, really. But still keeping everything, the presentation side of things, the way you present yourself, the way you present your car is a big, big bonus, I think.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that some people have used the choice of car they purchase as a way of marketing. If you have a car that's a branded one or a popular make and model, and it's the new version of said make and model, sometimes people are drawn to that. Or the convertible before they changed, and made it more limited in what you can take on a test. The convertibles would often go. as people come to me just because of my car. That's what I've heard. Excellent. Who was next? Was it you, Ian?
3 things, 2 things, 2 things, 2 things. 1, clean your windows outside while you're waiting. Yeah, looks good. Yeah, clean car windows, love it. Anyway, that's in between a car clean. The next one. So I had a 17th birthday starter. And I was just, oh, do you know, I'm going to do something special. So what I went and done was bought a card that looks like a speed sign, wrote a nice message. And when I turned up, the car had all these banners on it. 4 of her friends have had to have all these cards brought now. I've got banners and cards everywhere. They're all 17 starters. Just by a little touch.
Those banners cost a fortune.
eBay, China.
Oh, right.
It's
Just a
going,
white
it's
one.
going the extra mile, isn't it? It's going that extra mile that makes the difference.
Absolutely.
Extra mile, you went all the way to China, he just said.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, this is all worth it, because you can do the expensive stuff, and people do, you know, but people used to pay for a 12, yeah, I've got you, Sammy. People used to pay for years and years subscriptions to Yellow. What was that? Yellow Pages. That's it. I can't even remember. Have you seen how big Yellow Pages is these days? Yellow pamphlet. You can't use it to sit on to get your hair cut anymore. Too tiny. Yep. Sammy.
Yes, I remember when they used to have competitions to rip them in half, the Yellow Pages. Now, just a couple of Facebook comments. Graham says time is money and marketing costs time. And Steph's asked a question, does anyone on the panel need to advertise? And she's mentioned about, she can't see that now with masks, but I've forgotten which bit that was in reference to now, sorry.
Oh,
But yeah, does anybody on the...
That's about the smile.
The smiling, that's it, yeah. So does anyone on the panel advertise? So that's a question from Steph. So do you have to advertise? Put your hand up if you do.
I'm going to say yes.
What do you class as advertising?
Sorry, say it again, Sammy.
Does anyone on the panel need to advertise?
No.
Do I need some more questions to clarify?
Yeah,
I mean, I
what's
think
advertising?
it depends what it is, really, doesn't it? It could be a number of things.
If you want to know, it's all on my website. Go and check it out.
Well, what is it we're doing as businesses? Have others of you got more than one finger in a number of pies? Kev has. He's just showing us how he's put one finger in one pie.
I
But what-
think it was just in reference to driving lessons, really attracting pupils. Maybe that was the question target. So if we're doing what we've been talking about now, we shouldn't need to.
Does anyone advertise for driving lessons? Put your hands up if you do. Then. There you go. So other people are advertising for other. Oh, Keith, did you put yours up? Did you put your hand up? Yeah. Ian put his dog's face up. I wasn't sure if it was a hand up or what.
I think it's an interesting question though, because about advertising, you know, what do you class as advertising? You know, we're sitting here. I mean, Phil's not advertising Cornwall, is he? But if you have a look at Sammy Neil, are they advertising just for the fact you've got your names behind you? Is that classed as advertising? It may well be, mightn't it? So again, that hasn't cost you anything, but it's advertising because it's saying Sammy's at Purple Driving Academy, Neil's Why to Learn Best Business Awards winner. You know, that is sort of like all advertising in a different guise, rather than saying, come to me, lessons at £35 or whatever. You know, that might be a different type of advertising. So to answer that question, do I advertise for driving lessons? No. But do I advertise in a different way? Yes. Do I make people aware of who I am? Yes. And what do I do?
Love it. Get people like me to get you loads of people. What do? You run a really good company, if that's what you do, mate.
Thank you, mate. Thank you. That wasn't a plug.
Oh, sorry, Kev.
That's it. That's just me finished. I just thought, it's an interesting question, and
It is.
what do you class it as, and what do you do with that advertising? It's quite an interesting one.
Well, I think it is, and it depends what you do as a business provider. Because if you're running specific something else, you do need to advertise, and I think that's why. I mean, we have been joking about him, but Graham is absolutely superb. If anybody does want some hints and tips, just follow him around, see what he does. If somebody would want to, but it depends. Can you do it without spending money? And that's what we're talking about. It's selling yourself without marketing. And yes, I think that's what seems to be coming out. We'll find out in a bit. In a second, Neil, because Keith was before you.
I was just going to say, when Kev was talking about advertising, the top box on top of the car, that is advertising. In a way, we're not paying much money for it. We paid for the box in one go, but after that, I drive around with the box on if I'm working or if I'm not working to keep the advertising going, and it works that way. I had a lady phoned me up yesterday, so I took a photograph of your box on top of the car, and I'm seeing her son tomorrow. So it does work that way. I know I've got to be careful what I'm saying.
You're a contortionist, the Keith.
Sorry?
You're a contortionist.
But yeah, it works. Works that way, I think, advertising.
It does. Absolutely.
Advertising your business.
Absolutely. Yeah. Neil, you had something to say. Thanks, Keith.
Yeah, one thing that I've learned off Graham, and I'm sure he won't mind me saying, is that I go out my way to tell 3 people a day that I teach people to be driving instructors as well. And that's free advertising, because that could be anybody.
Yeah.
How do you go about that, no, Neil? How do you approach that?
Just bring it into the conversation. And did you know I teach people to be driving instructors? Simple as.
So do you lead that conversation?
I just have a conversation with a person, but I always make sure that I'm going to get it in before I finish talking to them. Just so they know.
I can see you doing it, yeah? Who's laughing at what?
What I've just said.
One of my best ways of marketing was actually just there was a certain person that has, I don't know, Sammy, if you think about it, have you been one of my best? I think you have. You've been one of my best marketing things, happy customer. A happy customer is going to sell you all over the place. Happy customer. I can't get over Neil getting it in before he's finished the conversation. It's just...
I came in at the wrong time there.
It's getting worse, isn't it? Kev?
No.
I think we should get Kev to do one of his wonderful recaps while he's got the giggles. Put a cap on it, Kev.
I wish the other lot had done that. It would have been so much easier to do this. Right then. Right. Ready. You ready?
Well, get it in quick.
Oh dear. Right, so no, we didn't. It's not happening.
Can anyone else read what Kev's written on his notes? A quick screenshot, Kev.
Right, I gotta be serious now. Anyway, Neil didn't. It wasn't Neil. He was Ian, I think. Ian had experiences before.
This is ridiculous. I think who's going to help out then? Sammy, is it good dinner? I could hear your stomach rumbling from here. Right, Kev, you ready now? 1, 2, 3.
Right, ready. Go on, let's do it.
Go.
So Ian started off talking, which was again unusual for Ian, but it was good stuff that Ian was saying. And he spent money more on the tools and not all the fancy stuff that goes with it. And he basically spent money on himself and not wasting money on marketing, you know. So he was able to do a good job for his customers. People buy into you. Turn up, show up, colours matching your business, be smart, give the right image, all about selling yourself and telling your story. Have passion and enthusiasm in what you do. We've talked about reviews, not just after passing your test as well. So if someone's had a good lesson, get them to review their lesson. Get people to buy into you. Be good at what you do. Unlike us on here, really, you just be good at what you do, and have confidence in what you do as well, because that attracts those people to you. Give the good in first impressions, and continual professional development, CPD. Keep up with the changes. So you're always there. You always know what's going on, and the people will respect that as well if you're up with the changes. We mentioned social media can be good, but it can also attract the wrong people as well, to the type of person that you are wanting to get. And it also gives customer confidence in yourself as well. You know, so you're after, if they know that you're out there and what you're doing and you've had test passes, it gives the customer the confidence. Make sure the client is smiling when they get out of the car, and when they get out of the car, it's always a clean car as well that you're driving around in. Again, it just shows people what you're like. Go that extra mile, and we have banners and cards on 17th birthdays and the car dressed up, which was really good. Advertising. What is advertising? Well, Keith mentioned about having the roof box on. Do we advertise? Well, yeah, you would advertise if you needed business. Some people don't need business, they advertise in different ways. And some of that is just by telling people what they do. And, you know, they always make sure they get in the thing about what they do in the conversation and before it's finished. And that is me finished, totally.
I think you're terribly.
Rest of the evening.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for a lie down now.
Yeah. Been a long day. Loved it though. Been a long day. I'm so glad you had to do that. I don't think I'd have been able to. So thank you for that. I do appreciate panelists. If you ever want to be on and you haven't received a link, if you see all the marketing, please make sure that you get a link. Contact one of the crew, contact me, make sure you get the link. Please come on as an attendee. Please consider coming along. If you are not one of us and you have other service providers, please don't think that you are exempt from being part of the Why Don't You webinar. We do want more people. It is more difficult, and I think it was much easier during lockdown. If we're heading for another lockdown, maybe we'll be able to increase the numbers again of panelists. I liked it when we had a lot of feedback and a lot of information from a lot of people. In terms of, I wrote it down, in terms of next time, guys, it is Friday the 25th of September. Friday the 25th of September. Why don't you elicit feedback is what we're going to do. It's the same time, it's 6:30 in the evening. For the time being, if we have another lockdown, we'll be doing one every day just because we're so bored again. I don't know what we're going to do. Why don't you, Kev, why don't you elicit feedback 25th of September, find out more, join the Facebook group, have ideas, come on and be serious and stop us messing about and giggling with each other. Is that okay? I'm going to end the live on Facebook. So thank you very much if you've watched. Thank you very much if you're watching on feedback. Bye, guys. Watch us again. Join in, though. Join in. See you guys. Have we